So I sped up the videos, so if I seem like I talk too fast, it's because actually in real life I talk too slow and I annoy people. So in my videos, I try to speed it up with the speed button. So just so you know. All right, bye.
Say good morning. Good morning, everyone. I am just making a quick intro to the video that I just made. And just so you know, I talk about marriage and parenting a little bit and getting into deception and infidelity because of what the message ended up being today as far as the card that gets pulled out. So if you want to skip all of the other stuff in the beginning, feel free to just go to the end or middle-ish where I pick out the card, where the card finally flies out, because it took a little while. So also I just wanted to say if you are interested in setting up a one-on-one, please email me at hello@stephanieromer.com and or go to my website. It is updated. My prices are on there. A lot of people have complained about that and do prefer that the prices are just on there. It's quicker. And there is an application process just so that I can vet out people who really aren't motivated to do the work that I am here to guide people to do. I'm at a new level of putting people in a different space. It's really hard to explain what I mean by that, but getting people to where they really want to be in a different way than I used to do it. It's a little hard to explain. However, I'm happy to talk about that on the phone. And then just to let you know that the application process does go through me and only me. I am the only person that reads your story and the reasons why you are looking for coaching. And if you are a good fit, then I will respond either way. But if you are a good fit, then we will go ahead and set up that first call. It's $77 for the first appointment. It's a full hour for $77. And again, like I say later in the video, the reason I decided to do that was because that opportunity was given to me. So I then started doing that for clients because it changed my life working with a woman who cut her price in half just to be able to work with me and help me. And then therefore that created a ripple effect to now me being a stronger coach and then me being able to then help you better as well. So, and I wouldn't have had that opportunity if she would have had that intro price, like that first appointment price, at, I think it was like a 150 or 175 rate, and you don't know who you're working. You don't know if it's going to be a good fit. You do not want to spend $200 to just find out that we may not be a good fit for each other. So that's why I cut it down to the $77, and therefore we can have a nice cohesive conversation and in-depth coaching call for that first call where I can help you with a few things, and then we can decide if we are a good fit for each other to then continue. From there, the more sessions you choose, obviously, the cheaper that it gets per session. So just jump onto my website, check out the prices, fill out the application, and we'll go from there. And the free consults are no longer an option due to people taking advantage of those calls. So feel free to fast forward the beginning or middle of this and jump to what the word is for the day, which is Proverbs 11:3, and dig into the message about marriage, parenting, building the foundation, and the circle of life. I put the Lion King image up. I was cracking up when I found that. Anyway, all right, y'all have a good weekend, and I'll see you next time when I can jump on. Enjoy the video. I say bye-bye.
Good morning, people. My hair is interesting. I woke up like this, and I'm like, cool. My hair looks pretty ready to go, but I do need a Snapchat face if I'm about to deliver this message. So my schedule has completely changed, and outside of that, I'm just exhausted and a million things going on. So I haven't been on all week, but I'm going to still try to pop on every once in a while and do my prayer cards and whatever comes to me to share that's on my heart to share, I will post if I have time and energy. So I have been a nanny, a certified caregiver, a licensed foster mother, just working with disabled children, teens, and adults. I have been working for high-profile, famous families to single, struggling mothers for 20 years. And so with all of that, and there's probably more things that I'm like, sometimes I'm like, I think I have so many certifications and random things I don't even remember what they are anymore because it's just kind of accumulated throughout the years. And also just like my experience working with families, being a nanny, caregiver, and even when I'm a server or even when I'm a bartender or like I end up being a therapist, I end up being a person that gives advice to parents or families or friends and stuff like that. Even when, well, that would be a friend, but I'm saying like even when I'm a server or even when I'm a bartender or I don't know, I can't even think of any other jobs, but I've had a million. And that's part of why I love it, because I love talking to people about random things, and people from all walks of life come in and talk to you while they are either waiting on their food or ordering or waiting on their drinks or whatever. And so it's fun. And then I'm like, I should really just be a parent consultant at this point in my life. I really should have. I started doing that about 6-7 years ago when I graduated with the coaching school, and the first round of that with the empowerment coaching, and then the health coaching, and then the trauma coaching, and I did the trauma release practitioner program. I've done so many, all these things that I just went into a different line of coaching. However, I still worked with mothers. I still worked with families. But sometimes I would just go back to predominantly working with trauma victims or people with disabilities, fathers, husbands, mothers, wives, and CEOs. Those are the people that kind of come to me naturally and that I just, meet out in the world. And then it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, I'm also a coach if you're interested in working together. And then that's kind of how that happens. So I don't really advertise much online because I haven't had too much. My clients come naturally. And then from there, I work one-on-one for 3 to 6 week program, or 3 to 6 weeks. And then I have a 12-week program, and I used to have longer, but I stopped. So anyway, that's not the message for the day. The message for the day is really about children. And, so I met a really cool woman the other day. Well, it was a mother and father, and they were bringing in a new child. She was pregnant. And so I said, congratulations. And then we just started talking from there. And then I was talking to her toddler, and she said, actually, it's twins. And so then we went on from there, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's, I told her I was a nanny and all that stuff. And she said, oh my gosh, have you ever worked for twins? And I said, I've had one family with twins, and because the parents worked from home and they kind of wouldn't leave me alone, I didn't continue with that family, but I would have if they weren't working in the home and weren't constantly on me. So that, that makes it very difficult when there's working from home parents, and every time the child cries or every time there's something going on with the child, they're kind of like, oh no, is, little Betsy okay? Yes, we're good. It's a baby and she's crying and or whatever, I got this, trust me, we're good. But anyway, so I was talking to her about that, and just my experience with the twins, and then just helping her with some advice with integrating a new baby into a sibling dynamic, and when the older child becomes a sibling for the first time, and what that looks like, and how just the different behaviors that start to change, and just how to slowly integrate that before the pregnancy before the birth of the child, really. So, because there's many ways that you can start to do that before you even give birth with a second child. So I just sat there and was like, da 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 da, I just was talking to her and her husband and giving them all this advice, and she was super thankful. And then I woke up this morning and was thinking about twins, which is weird because I've been dreaming about twins for I don't even know how long, 8 years, 7 years, a boy and a girl. But I think I posted that, one of the boys' name, not one of the boys, it was one boy, one girl. Sometimes it was 2 boys, but it's always one boy, one girl. Anyway, whole point is, hold on. Okay, whole point is I woke up thinking about that. And it was more of it wasn't a message for me. It was girl, you need to jump on and somebody needs to hear this message. I don't even know what the message is yet. I'm still just talking. So we will see what this message is. Let's see what card flies out because it's fun. All right. So yeah, if you ever have any questions, if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, I do group coaching. It's usually with disabilities. I do have a couple of times that I've done groups with trauma victims in a group that wanted to split the money and kind of get the same basic information together. So they chose to do a group thing. But so if you are interested in working with me as a parent or as a new parents are my favorite. So say as a new parent, or if you're bringing in a sibling, or my specialty is infants and toddlers. I also work with older children, specifically with different disabilities, but I have worked with all abilities, all types of healthy children and disabilities. So I don't know, but let's see if there's a message for today. If you are interested in working together, though, you can just email hello@stephanieromer.com, and from there we will set up a phone consultation. I did change the consults to, I think it's $77 now instead of, then it was free. People take advantage a lot of trying to basically have conversations with me about things that don't have anything to do with coaching. But that's what that line is for. That phone call is to discuss coaching. So if you want, okay, card flew out. We will see what that is. If you are interested in collaborating on projects with like the future of CHD or my book or Heart Things or anything like that, then please email me. There have been some people that pretend to want coaching or like will set up a free consult. Actually, this has happened multiple times. So this is why I had to change the consult to $77, because I know how much it helped me to be able to have a lesser price instead of like a full, it's like $150 rate for one appointment. And when I met a coach who offered half off, like it changed my life, and otherwise I wouldn't have worked with her. So that's why I changed it to $77. But why I changed it from free was because people were taking advantage of it and trying to talk to me for all kinds of random reasons that were not about coaching. Some were about coaching, but if you are interested in collaborating with me on something or discussing a project with me or trying to get free advice, it's not going to work. If you are calling me and trying to get free advice for your CHD child or family member or disabled child or family member, that is my expertise as far as working with families and children of all abilities. And so I do deserve to be paid for that. And that is why if you work with me, I will change your life as a coach. So I'm sorry, but the free information will not be given to you too much beyond these videos. And these videos are like 1% of what I would give you in coaching. Okay, and that's why the coaching prices are set as they are. I am giving you lifetime tools and skills that will change your parenting life, your marriage, your business, the way you run your business, the way you run your family household, the way you approach people in general, the way you deal with your families, and the way, most of all, you deal with yourself. So all of that is absolutely not given in a free consult, nor in a $77 consult. The $77 consult is all about discussing what we can do, what you're interested in, and what I can do for you depending on what you need. But it goes way beyond that because it is now paid. Okay. A free consult used to be very, very basic, kind of get your information and then see what you're interested in working on and then cut the call and have the first appointment, right? Now that it's $77, it's more in depth. Okay. So you do get more out of that. It's not a basic free consult. It's a little beyond that. And then the first sessions, well, all of the sessions then from there on are very in depth, very tailored to you, your life, and what you need. So let's find out what this card is. I am healed by his wounds. Isaiah 53:5. Didn't we do this one before? We did. I mean, obviously, if it came out, we're supposed to heal it. Oh, hear it. Is someone needing healing? I mean, everybody needs healing, but maybe someone, part of just what comes off the top of my head right now, I'll just say it. What a big part of parenting and family, actually, building your own family, building a company, which is like having babies, building a community. Any of that, you have to heal yourself first in order to then run a company, run a family, run a marriage. Like, if you can't do the work for yourself and understand who you are as an individual, then how are you going to then properly guide and teach others when you're not guiding and teaching yourself all that you can do, if that makes sense? So let's see. Okay, that card just flew out, so we'll just see what that one is. So that's just what came to me on the healing thing. Okay, my integrity honors God in my work. Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, sorry. If you're just watching this and I just yelled. Proverbs 11:3. Okay, let's dig into that one because we've already done Isaiah 53:5. It's on my videos somewhere. But anyway, we all need to be healed anyway. So so obviously my integrity honors God in my work. Like, hello. I know I say I love when this happens, even though it happens every time, but I'm always surprised and happy, even though it happens every time. It's like, oh my gosh, what I'm just talking about, the card came out. This is so fun. But okay, so my integrity honors God in my work. Obviously, it means what it means, right? And then let's go deeper. So if you don't have integrity, even outside of work, like I just literally just said, no matter if it's in your family, your company, your marriage, your relationships, dating, whatever, if you don't have integrity, it's not going to last, okay? And or it's going to backfire, and or you're going to go through hell in order to just then come back to the same place you were in the beginning, or should have. I don't say should because it's shame. Like, if you follow me, I say should. You shouldn't say should because it's shaming. It's because it is a shaming word, and it insinuates that that person didn't make the right decision, when really I don't believe in wrong decisions, because I think mistakes guide us, so, and are there to teach us. So, okay, anyway. So Proverbs 11:3 highlights that honest, principled, and consistent behavior acts as a moral compass that protects a person, while deceptive or crooked actions lead to ruin. Exactly. It emphasizes that true lasting success is rooted in being whole or undivided in character, ensuring actions align with values regardless of circumstances. Integrity creates a foundation of trust within the family unit. I talk about that all the time. Exactly. When parents or spouses are honest, it provides security and stability, making the path of family life smoother. And I almost went into a whole thing about lying and infidelity and just all these things that, you know, I've helped plenty of people with throughout my life. And as a coach, as a friend, as a girlfriend, as, you know, many roles, many hats that I wear. And if you are in one of those situations, or if you are the liar or the deceiver or the cheater, I definitely want to work with you, because I know exactly what to say to you. I know exactly how to help you, but you have to do the work. So, and that's the same as the people on the receiving end, or the victims, or, you know, the people that have to deal with it or live with you, or are kind of, their hands are tied because they're being lied to or deceived in some way. So obviously we know that's not fair, and I don't talk or lead with shame. As a coach, I am very, very empathetic, and I treat every single person as just like, you're a human being who makes mistakes, okay? So it is what it is, and that's the approach, and we go from there. There's no judgment, there's no I almost said shilt. There's no guilt. There's no guilt shaming or whatever. But yeah, I just want you to know that. So, okay. Consequences of dishonesty. Conversely, duplicity, which is speaking or acting in two different ways to different people. I know a lot of people like that. In a family, such as breaking promises, lying, or hiding actions, destroys relationships and leads to internal personal destruction. You know, a lot of liars, people who lie and deceive, the thing that doesn't make any logical sense, and then also on top of not making any logical sense, it's just a domino effect of damage, okay? They do the lying or the deceiving action, right? And then they add to it by pretending it A, didn't happen, B, it wasn't that bad, or C, they just never did it in the first place, or they try to twist it or sugarcoat it into something that, they dilute it, right? And our spirit knows, no matter how weak or strong of a person you are, your spirit knows. We are human beings, and we are a spirit first, okay? We are a soul. We know in our spirit that what this person is saying is not right. No matter what comes out of our mouth, no matter how we handle it externally, we know when someone's deceptive. We know when someone is lying. We know when a company is lying to us or taking advantage of us. We know when a boyfriend or girlfriend is lying or taking advantage of us, okay? We know deep inside all of these things, but it's about how you handle it, getting the courage to be assertive, because whether you're passive or aggressive, the goal would be to work on being assertive, right? And going back to just everything being balanced and in the middle. You can also, I know I've made videos with the DBT scale and, the wise mind in the middle, where there's logic and emotion on one end, on both ends, and then there's the wise mind in the middle. There's the balance. I mean, that needs to pertain to literally everything that we do in life is balance. So that is always one of the tools that I stress and I teach consistently through my coaching is balance. So, okay, here's this. How can we balance this? How can we compromise? How can we come to an agreement where both parties are stable and happy and moving forward and feeling like they are moving forward in their independent lives without feeling like they are cheating themselves or taking too much of themselves in order to stay in this relationship or start a relationship or become a parent or become a business owner or an employee that is getting taken advantage of, or anything like that. So everything's about being assertive. Okay, so reputation and trust in business, for example, integrity is a crucial asset that builds trust with clients, employees, and partners. It is described as an internal compass that ensures ethical decisions, leading to long-term success rather than short-term gain. And that's just outside of that's who I am as a person in every single aspect of my life. I'm not a different person no matter where I go. This is who I am. Okay, this is who I am in every single situation, and in front of every person in every single situation. It's just who I am. Okay, and so one thing that I've had a difficult time with throughout my life is people that are different people in front of different people. Or if you're a different person in front of your boyfriend versus in front of your friends. Those people make me crazy. I'm like, why are you two different people in front of your boyfriend? And then when we're just hanging out, you're really cool. And then when you're in front of your boyfriend, you're like this completely different person. What's going on? And so, which I know the reasons behind it as far as like my coaching hat in the trauma experience. However, as a friend, it feels like a little deceptive and it feels very disappointing. And it's like, why are you being two different people? Like, what's going on here? What is the point of all of this? And why are you making your boyfriend think that this is who you are? Your friends know who you are. Like, what are you doing? So it's just something I've never understood about some girls and guys, because both people do it, where you're like different in front of your friends versus your significant other. Anyway, so my whole point to all of that was, though, as a coach, as a human being, as a person, like, you get what you get. I am who I am. I don't sugarcoat things. I don't lie. I don't deceive. I tell you my prices. I tell you who I am. I tell you what I do. If you have any questions, I will honestly answer them. And I will be very direct with you, no matter who you are in my life. So not only that's who I like to be, that's who I want to be as a human being here. I don't like lying. It makes me very uncomfortable. It makes me feel weird. I'm not a deceptive person. I never have been. It makes me feel weird. It makes me feel like a jack in the box. And that's kind of how I explain it. Like, eventually I'm going to pop out and I'm going to tell on myself, if I lied to you, I can probably keep it in for like maybe a few hours. I just don't feel comfortable being deceptive. And if there is a situation where I need to for survival, that's a completely different situation, obviously, because then I have to lie or be deceptive in order to literally save my own life. And I have been in those situations. So those are completely different situations, right? So my whole point of all of that is when we are in the workplace, family place, church, like, it doesn't matter where you are as a person, friendships, etc. Maybe I'm just being repetitive at this point, but just tell the truth, because if you don't, it's just going to come back later. That's why I'm like, why? You guys, people who lie literally just make the truth go from being 5 minutes long until like a month long or a year long or 10 years long. No matter what it is, it's going to come out. So there's no point. Do you see what I mean? You're just dragging out the truth for your own personal gain, or to hide yourself, to hide your own insecurities, to boost your ego. There's a million reasons why people lie or deceive others, for money, for personal gain of any sort. I don't know. There's so many examples. Okay, the whole point of all of this was just to emphasize that if you do lie, if you do deceive people, it's just going to come back, whether it's like next week or in 10 years from now. So like, what's the point, right? You're just wasting people's time on earth. You're wasting your own time. You're wasting people's time. So, okay. And if you know anything about me, I'm all about time. I wrote a book about it. Everything about me is timing. We only have so much time on earth, and that's not what this message is today. So I'm not going to get into that, but so this is interesting. I've read about the double lives and the double-minded man in the Bible before. I forget where it is, but it says it right here, like double lives. Okay. Proverbs 11:3. NIV, the integrity of the upright guides them, but the unfaithful are destroyed by the duplicity, applies to marriage specifically by emphasizing that honesty and moral consistency protect the union, while dishonesty or double lives lead to ruin. Exactly. Like, what is the point? There's no point. There's no point. Okay. Unless you are protecting yourself from physical harm, if you are in danger, then sure, lie away, or do whatever you need to do to protect yourself. But if you are like in a loving relationship, or in a relationship where that person isn't going to threaten your life in some way, then say whatever what is the point? Why are we lying? There's no point. Anyway, I've read about the double-minded man somewhere in Bible stuff. Trust and stability, preventing destruction. The unfaithful or crooked refers to those who are treacherous, breaking promises, or hide behind deception. And in marriage, this can manifest as infidelity or hidden selfish behaviors, which lead to collapse. Integrity acts as a guide, helping individuals make righteous decisions that honor their spouse and strengthen the covenant, rather than causing ruin through selfish choices. So yeah, and that's the basis of an entire family unit, is the marriage. The marriage, the relationship between the parents, that is the foundation. That is what a family is built off of. Those children are standing on the ground, on the foundation of your relationship with your spouse, if you want to think of it that way. And so depending on how strong that foundation is, those children are either going to fall through the cracks of society, if you want to look at it that way, or they're going to rise, and they're going to take those lessons from everything you did wrong and do the opposite. And then that is how they will succeed in life. And then maybe you have another child or children who do those same behaviors, which is learned behaviors. And it's what most people do without thinking, is they kind of like live through the cog of life, where they don't really look at themselves too much, and they kind of just copy whatever their parents did, or do things subconsciously to keep there's so much in my brain right now. I could go into this for hours. Keep the family dynamic, basically, and everything that has been taught, even if it's wrong, and even if it doesn't work, and even if it breaks people and families and children, even if it's patterns of divorce, patterns of having children too young, patterns of lying, cheating, stealing. People will repeat these things if they're not looking at themselves and healing, which is why I'm so passionate about looking at yourself and being self-aware and healing, because that is how you break cycles. And so if you're not going to look at yourself and focus on breaking a cycle that doesn't work in your family unit, then you're going to continue that for generations and continuously build that same foundation that your parents built, your grandparents built, and et cetera, et cetera. And what is the point of that when we have the resources and we have the knowledge now? So know better, do better, right? We as a society, it's arguable at what point in history this began. Every person is going to have a different opinion of when our resources began, as far as self-awareness and healing. Obviously, the hippie movement and all of the civil rights movements were part of all of these transformations of knowing better, and then therefore being able to do better, treat each other better, and move society as a whole into a happier, more peaceful place, right? Because that's the goal of what everyone wants to do. But the question is, who's going to actually do the work to make this happen? And I think there are more and more parents and more families and marriages now doing the work and fighting for ourselves first, and our marriages and our relationships, in order to give that to our children, or holding back and not having children and just enjoying life or doing whatever, and then helping, building community or helping people in other ways. So whether I ever have children or not, I'm going to continuously help children and families and help build happy people, like for the rest of my life, no matter what I do, because that's what makes me happy. I like helping people learn how to be their happiest self, and helping people find out what lights them up and how to dig into themselves in order to then build a foundation for their family and their business and their children to then, everything I say is all about helping the entirety of the whole utopian society that everybody says they want, but very little will work for. So if you are one of those people that are on the path of wanting to be better for yourself, you are a part of being better for humanity as a whole. So just know that, like, this work that you're doing alone does not go unnoticed, even though it might feel like it. And if you do become a different person, or I'm sorry, not if, when, because that's what healing is, you are going to lose people. You're going to lose people who don't want to grow, and they don't want you to grow, because then you're gone. And the old self, the old you is gone. Maybe it's a party version. Maybe it's a destructive version of some sort that they want you to be around for, because that's where they want to live. They want to stay in that. And so then they want you to stay in that also. And that's the hardest part, is when people move on from groups of friends, or move on to a different business or a career, or a different relationship, et cetera, not with infidelity, moving into a different relationship, honestly, with breaking up and then separating, and doing those things honestly with integrity. We can move, we can break things up, we can move into different parts of life with integrity if we face ourselves. I was gonna say self-awareness, but if we have self-awareness, if we face ourselves and own that this situation or this environment or these people are having XYZ effect on me, and I'm not gonna do this anymore because I want to be happy. What makes me happy? I don't know, I need to figure it out. Kind of that, and then getting into that and focusing on that. And you can't have that without self-awareness and integrity. So the two messages for the day: I am healed by his wounds. Feel free to dig more into Isaiah 53:5, which was brought up in another video, so I didn't get too much into that. But today the main focus was my integrity honors God in my work, which is so perfect. I love it. And that's Proverbs 11:3. So here you go if you want to screenshot that. And it was fun to jump back on here, and I will see you next time when I'm able to come back on. Have a good weekend. Bye.